Right, so time now for business, and the FPSO Jubilee, we know has been having some, or the FPSO Kwame Nkrumah has been having some challenges in the Jubilee field. We're told now that it's going to be shut down again.
Tullow is actually planning to shut it down for about 12 weeks.
Wow.
Exactly. And the implications you and I, we do know on electricity supply here in Ghana, and of course revenue to the economy basically. So that's exactly what it is.
Oh, we have some really difficult times ahead.
Exactly
then.
so, as well.
All right, you take it away.
Thank you very much. And now on business, and Tullow Oil is planning to actually shut down the vessel used in collecting, storing and processing crude from the Jubilee field. That's the FPSO. This is actually expected to last for almost about 12 weeks in a row. So it has a lot of implications for revenue and certain implications on our electricity supply in Ghana here. And we have George Wiafi who will be joining us here to actually give us the perspective. He was there to give us some up to speed on a perspective, especially the implications on our revenues and electricity supply in particular. George, I thought at a point in time this FPSO business has actually been resolved. What exactly is happening?
No, it hasn't been resolved, John. And in the update, or what they call the operational update that they issue out to investors, they've indicated that from the second quarter of 2017, they're going to shut down the FPSO for about 12 weeks. And that is what they have indicated in this statement. It looks like we are back again to the shutdown business.
Good. Then the necessary and then the natural follow-up is that what's going to be the implication on crude production and possibly generation of electricity to supply the economy and businesses?
Around a day, you're doing about, if my figures are right, almost about 90,000 barrels.
Exactly.
So it means that just do that rough calculation, stopping or losing this amount of volumes of crude every day for the next 12 weeks.
Especially after Brexit, where we do know that prices of oil crude on the international market was also going down. The Ministry of Finance actually making effort at sort of like adjusting their budget here and there. And this coming on, I think it must be a big blow for the economy.
It will be an interesting development because we make a lot of money from just selling this crude oil to companies out there, and now prices are picking up. So let's look at what we are going to get for these oil companies and even the state in terms of revenue. Now, these oil companies on the Jubilee field have operated enough that they could start paying profits on the operations. So the state is also going to lose some heavy amount of money in terms of revenue if you stop for this whole period. But again, you will ask yourself, why are they doing this? There's a problem with the infrastructure, the FPSO, and it looks like they want to fix it once and for all. And that is why they're doing this. We also hear, or we gather, that they wanted 10 to be operational. That is the Chineboa and Nyerantome field. This is the second biggest oil field apart from the Jubilee area. So when it comes on board from next month, then they gradually step down production on the Jubilee field, and then they work on this FPSO so that they will address the problem once and for all.
Now they are proposing 12 weeks in this. When exactly is it starting?
We're looking at from April next year, so 2017. That could come very, very soon.
Very soon indeed. But then now, we've looked at implication on the country and then the economy. How about the businessmen and women here in Ghana?
It's about power generation, because don't forget that if trying to break down this thing to the layman, that infrastructure sucks oil from the Jubilee field, the bed.
Exactly.
Now, there's a part of the infrastructure that takes the crude oil, and the other part that takes the natural gas and export it to the gas infrastructure project or infrastructure at the Twabo. Now, they work on this and also export that to VRA. So if VRA can't get enough gas, at the time that we are having problems with WAPCO, I hope that before the end of this year we will resolve that problem. Then there's going to be a problem with supply of gas. If crude oil is going up, it means the alternative should be, what do you call, this gas. So there'll be problems with power generation. Now, when there are problems with power generation, the impact on industries, we can't produce more a day. The impact on businesses has implications on revenue, it has implications on profits, it has implications even on taxes for the country.
Employment, we can't
You're
forget
right, and
about
companies
that as well.
also will have to be forced to downsize for that long period. So that could be the impact on industries, businesses, and even trying to stretch it, the economy.
Exactly. We thank you very much, George Rafi, for that particular update there from Talo, planning of shutting down the FPSO. Thank you very much for passing through. In a related development, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers of Ghana, Duncan Amwa, has given the indication that the first pricing window for the month of July will see fuel prices go down by almost about 3%. He cited development after the UK's exit from the EU as having impacted on global crude prices.
Over the past 2 weeks, since the last pricing window kicked in that saw prices being maintained, the world market index at the time was trading around 50. If you have been watching the world market WTI indexes and as well as Brent, you would realize that for most of the 2 weeks that we have seen, because of the Brexit or the EU UK standoff, prices actually declined to around 46, 47 for most part of the period. So it should reflect accordingly. Even before the UK vote, the world market kept fluctuating, and mostly it was moving around $748, up down from the $50 mark that this current pricing window was ushered in with. So clearly, if anybody wants to be fair to the Ghanaian consumer, naturally some cuts would have to be seen at the pump. And like we have indicated, we are also monitoring. By tomorrow, we'll be able to put out a full list of OMCs that have complied with our request.
And the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, NPSA, has expressed concern about the various pricing regime adopted by oil marketing companies countrywide. He said this defeats the purpose of the deregulation of the petroleum downstream regime.
Parliament decided to amend the Act of NPA, and in that amendment, it does mention multiple pricing. First, it used to be singular uniform pricing, but now it is called multiple pricing. So that by itself is the law that is now giving the power to the deregulation. We are seeing price competition, and most of the OMCs are rather trying to lower their prices in the countryside more than their principal operators. And what we mean is that we have said that the price of every OMC should be uniform across the country. So if the price of petrol is 3 cedis per liter, then Goil in Accra should be 3 cedis per liter, and Goil in Paga should be 3 cedis per liter. So if you have Shell at 3 cedis 50 pesos per liter, then Shell in Accra should be 3 cedis 50 pesos per liter, and then Shell in Paga should be 3 cedis 50 pesos per liter. Now the problem that we are rather now having is that where the other OMC is of lower prices, the dealer for that OMC rather now wants to sell at a lower price, and that is where we have the challenge as to whether should we allow dealers for OMCs to charge the competitive price they think they should sell at to be competitive and to sell more volumes. So that is a challenge of the deregulation. But in terms of taking advantage of the consumer, that is not there. Rather, the consumer is going to benefit.
Now, let's find out how your investments are doing on the international market here locally on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and also how the currencies are also faring here in Ghana. And on the Ghana Stock Exchange today actually ended quite on an average note, where the stock market traded almost about 835,789 as against 124, quite an improvement on yesterday's performance, but at a total value of 722,820. That was able to actually shift the market cap a bit upside to about 54,790 million Ghana cedis, 80,000. And also, you've seen that a composite index, which measures the total performance of the Ghana Stock Exchange, improved marginally by almost about 0.33 points as the year-on-year composite index moves to about 10.40%. And then the financial index, which also measures the performance of the financial equities on the market, also recorded an upside of about 0.67 points as the year-on-year still remains 13.17. But these GCB Bank and MLC Mechanical Lloyd Ghana Limited also were the movers on the market today, as GCB Bank also returned 1 peso to their investors' capital to close the market at 3 Ghana cedis and 7 peso. Mechanical Lloyd, on the other hand, lost 1 Ghana to close the market at 18 pesos. Tomorrow it will open at that, basically. Now let's move on to the international market to look at how the the commodity is doing. Crude, after gaining almost about $1, now is trading around $49.87 after losing 74 cents per barrel. And gold gained about $3.45 to be trading currently around 1,319.41. And cocoa finally lost $64 to be trading around 2,970, almost about 2.11 point. Now, with the Ghana cedi against the top 5 major trading currencies here in Ghana, the cedi did lose against the US dollar, it gained marginally against the British pound after losing. I think all these things are some of the implications of post-Brexit, and we'll be looking at that, we're monitoring that closely. But against the euro, the cedi lost. Against the Chinese yuan, it did lose, and the CFA, it also lost to it. So the cedi, not that impressive if you ask me. So that's exactly how the currency market, the commodity, and the Ghana stock they actually gave you here today on this particular day. Tomorrow being a holiday, the market will not be working here in Ghana, so we'll not be giving you that. So that will be it on the market and here on Business on Prime. My name is John Kojo Amwako. The news continues.